Hello students, how are you all? Hope you all are doing well. In the previous chapter, we have already studied about the nutrition in plants. In this chapter, we will study nutrition in animal. We already know plant can make their own food, so they are called autotrophic. And animals cannot make their own food, they depend on another animal or plant for food, so they are heterotrophic. So, in this chapter, we will learn about the nutrition in animals and specifically human beings. So, let's get started. The process of taking food and utilizing the food is known as animal nutrition. Animals depend on other plants or animals for their food. Animal nutrition includes 5 major steps. First, ingestion. As the word signifies, ingestion means taking in of food. Different animals take in food different ways. This we will discuss in the later part of the video. Next process is digestion. Digestion means the breaking down of food. Whatever we eat is a complex substance. We need to break it down into simpler substance so that our body can absorb it. So, then third step is absorption. Absorption means taking in or absorbing the simple food particles in the blood or the body fluid. Next is assimilation. Now we have already absorbed the food. Now we have to transport the food to the different tissues and cells. So this process is called assimilation. And the last one is egestion. The unwanted, undigested food particle is removed from the body by the process of egestion. All this process we will learn in details. Now, let us start by all the different ways by which animals take in food. Different animals take in food by different modes. They have developed specialized organ for feeding. In case of butterfly, they have a special organ known as proboscis. With the help of proboscis, they can suck nectar from the flower. Honeybees and hummingbirds, they also suck nectar from the flower. Both male and female mosquito suck nectar of the flower, but female mosquito also suck the blood from other animals. So they have a different mouth part for sucking blood from the other animals. Now, in case of frog, they have a retractile tongue and that is very sticky. Whenever they see their prey, they used to unfold the tongue, and when the tongue comes in contact with the prey gets attached with the tongue as it is very sticky, and they again bring it back so that they can eat the insect. Now, starfish, they generally have a different and interesting mode of nutrition. Like, they generally pop their stomach out from their mouth. Yes, they take out the stomach out from their mouth, and that stomach surrounds the food, whatever it may be a fish or oyster, and then it takes back the stomach along with the food, and then the food gets digested inside the stomach of the starfish gradually. Food, whatever we eat, generally consists of carbohydrates, protein, fat, and some minerals and vitamins. These are large molecules and insoluble in nature. So, whenever we take it in, they cannot pass through the intestinal lining. So, we need to break this complex food into simpler soluble substance. So, carbohydrate, proteins, and fats are broken down into simpler substance by the process of digestion. Now, digestion takes place with the help of certain enzymes. Now, what are enzymes? Enzymes are certain chemicals that helps to break this complex food into simpler substance. Like, carbohydrate is broken down into glucose, and this glucose is soluble and a small particle that can go through the intestinal wall. Next, protein is broken down into amino acid, and fats are broken down into fatty acid and glycerol. Let us begin with the digestive system of human beings. Now, human digestive system consists of certain organs. They include your mouth, it is also your buccal cavity, then the food pipe, that is esophagus, then comes your stomach, small intestine, large intestine and your anus. Now these organs are also supported by some glands. The glands are the places where enzymes are secreted, and you know these enzymes are very much essential for the process of digestion. Now in the buccal cavity we have salivary gland. From their saliva is secreted. Next we have liver, pancreas. From liver we get bile, and from pancreas we get pancreatic juices. The full process of digestion we will learn in details now. Now, part by part, we will discuss about the digestion of food. Now, whenever we eat food, what we do? We take the food and we put it inside our mouth. Then what we do? We chew it. This process is called mastication of food. Means we are breaking down the food into simpler substance. See here, the food particles we are breaking. We are not digesting the food. But yes, we are also mixing the food with the saliva. Now this have two functions. One, it is making it little bit soluble and it's making the dry food wet. Secondly, saliva consists of an enzyme known as salivary amylase. This enzyme breaks down the starch into glucose. Starch is a carbohydrate. It breaks down into glucose. Keep it in mind, all the carbohydrate present in the food is not digested here. So we use the term partial digestion of starch. So in the mouth, what we do, we masticate the food, we break down into simple particles of food, and a partial breakdown of starch into glucose takes place in your buccal cavity. Then what we do, we swallow it. That means we pass the food in our esophagus. When the food enters the esophagus, then the top end of the esophagus, the muscles of the top of the esophagus starts alternate contraction and relaxation, thus pushing the food downwards to the stomach. During the time of vomiting, when we vomit, the food goes in opposite direction, means from downward to upward. That is called anti-peristalsis movement. The esophagus, the food comes to the stomach. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal and it is the sac-like part. Here the food is again churned for 3 hours. Churned means it's again broken down into small particles. Now from the lining of the stomach, 3 different types of things are secreted. First one is mucus, next hydrochloric acid, and the third one is the enzymes, specifically pepsin. Now, why we need mucus? See, stomach also secretes hydrochloric acid. Now, it is acidic in nature. So, it can burn the wall of the stomach. So, mucus forms a layer over the stomach lining that saves the stomach lining from the acid. Now, this acid also disinfects the food, and also it is very much essential for the proper functioning of the enzyme pepsin. Pepsin can break down protein into amino acid only in the presence of some acid. So, inside the stomach, the proteins are broken down into smaller particle or simpler particle known as amino acids. From the stomach, the food comes in the small intestine. Now, small intestine is a tube-like structure. It is around 7.5 meter long. In the small intestine, the complete breakdown of food takes place as well as the absorption of the food. In the small intestine, the secretion of the 2 major glands get mixed. That is, one is liver. Liver secretes bile that is temporarily stored in the gallbladder. And pancreas secretes pancreatic juices. Now, pancreatic juices consist of different enzymes such as pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. They play an important function in the digestion of the food. As well as pancreatic juices, the intestinal wall also secrete some digestive juices which also help the food to get broken down into simpler substance. Here, the function of bile is emulsification of fat. What does that mean? Emulsification means the breaking down of large fat molecules into simple small globules of fat, so that the lipase can work into it and break down the fats into fatty acid and glycerol. Means lipase breaks fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Now, protein is broken down in small intestine by the help of the enzyme trypsin. Trypsin breaks protein into amino acids, and carbohydrate is broken down into glucose by the help of pancreatic amylase. Here, all the food, whatever that is taken inside the body, is digested by these enzymes. Now, the next part is absorption of the food. Now, the walls of the small intestine absorb the food. So, they have a special organ known as villi. Villi are nothing, they are like finger-like projection. The walls are not like this smooth, they have a finger-like projection. So, why they have this projection? In order to increase the surface area. So, then if the walls are plain, then you can see the surface area is very less. But we need to absorb all the food, whatever we have taken. Now, if we need to increase the surface area, what we can do? We can fold the wall and make this finger-like projection. These projections are known as villi, and they help to absorb the food from the small intestine. From the small intestine, the undigested food comes to the large intestine. Why it is called large intestine? Because it's a wide tube and it is around 1.5 meter long. The undigested food, from the undigested food, the water is absorbed in the large intestine. After the water is absorbed, the food becomes semi-solid and it is stored in the rectum. So, whenever we go to the toilet, we pass the undigested food out from our body through anus in the form of feces. This process is called egestion. In this video, we have discussed about nutrition in animals, specifically human beings. We have discussed the digestive system, its part, glands, enzymes, and how food is digested. So, I hope I was able to explain you the chapter and hope you have understood. So, stay at home, stay safe. Till then, bye.